What is Ephesians 2 about? He's saying, look, you were formerly Gentiles. You were aliens to the covenants of promise, aliens to the people of Israel.
Right.
Why? And you were out in the world without God, without hope. Now you who were once far have been drawn near by Messiah Yeshua.
Not by a ritual of circumcision.
Not by a ritual circumcision.
Right.
And he's made the two one. And now you are fellow citizens.
Right.
You are fellow heirs with the saints, with God's household. This is Israel. Israel, the one new man in Messiah, that you are now grafted in, right? And you are partakers of the covenant blessings and the promises. This is that's the core piece here.
Well,
the dividing wall in ordinances here in Ephesians 2 is not God's word.
Exactly.
It's traditions of men.
It's
the same thing addressed in Mark 7.
Hang on, let's break it down.
And even in the parallel in Colossians where he says it's philosophies and commandments of men.
Okay, hang on just a sec. Let's break it down for people though. And the reason why is because, good scholarship has actually been split on what the dividing wall is, because the Greek here is not exactly straightforward. So, for instance, people have put forward that the dividing wall is the wall in between Jews and Gentiles in the temple in the first century. I think that that's been debunked. And,
the soreg, right? The soreg,
and because of the
but
language.
Wait a minute. To be fair, the soreg was an attempt to build into architectural space of the Temple Mount the false teaching. In other words, the architecture reflected the official enactment by those in power of the hostility.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a symptom. The soreg is a symptom of the deeper issue.
But Paul doesn't use that. But Paul doesn't use that language here, and that's important to note.
Right.
One of the most important things to note here is in verse 17 when he uses the words in the English, and I wonder. This makes me wonder if Durbin's reading in Greek or not. I don't know. Maybe he is. But when he says ordinances here, this word ordinances is never found. It's dogma. It's dogmason.
Right.
It's never found anywhere in any of the Septuagint to refer to any law of Torah ever.
That's right.
The word is used to talk about dogma. Just like, dogma is like the man-made tradition, the things that we heap on top of things. He uses the word fence, right? The dividing wall is actually the fence. And if you look at the literature that's around this passage in the first century, not around this passage, but that's circulating around in the first century, these words have specific meaning for the time. It's not extremely difficult to see that there's parallels. So I think the idea that this is talking about Torah, because
here's the thing again, he would have to explain he says you assume continuity, but if this is a claim that Ephesians 2 is saying there's discontinuity, and he wants to say this law of commandments is God's law, then how is it not complete discontinuity?
He wouldn't say it's God's law. He would say it's parts of God's law. This, putting
the holiness code. This is back to his idea.
This is holiness code.
The holiness code. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Okay,
but then once again, Durbin never tells us what exactly is.
It seems like he's saying circumcision and did he say dietary laws?
Circumcision, dietary laws, because those are explicitly mentioned in the.
This sounds like N.T. Wright. N.T. Wright kind of thinking, where you've got the works of the law in Galatians and the dividing wall here in Ephesians 2 would be defined as things that God had to mark Jews apart from the rest of the world. But now he takes only those things away. And N.T. Wright, for example, would characterize those as circumcision, the Sabbath or / festivals, and dietary laws. Basically, those three things. And so I guess some could say, well, yeah, we could call those in big terms, the ceremonial law. But the problem is that that might sound like a helpful solution, but it's really low resolution solution. It doesn't obtain traction in many areas of coherency.
Don't miss any clips from Messiah Matters by clicking the subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it so other people can see it too.